Ladies and gentlemen, Dejid builders and all the believers, you ever felt that pulse in the crypto industry beating on your chest? Welcome to another electrifying episode of Beyond the Blockchain Radio. Today, I got a special guest with me, the show master himself, Shilvester Stallone. How are you doing today?
Good, man. Another beautiful day to wake up in crypto,
Oh, I
minus the
know.
charts.
That's awesome, man. So, it's crazy. I met you, a couple years ago or so, and you always caught my attention by the delivery and how hard you work in the space as the show master. So, coming in, how did you start your career in crypto? What made you think like this is it? I want to get into this. This is going to change my life. Was there that moment that hit you?
I think it was back when I first started. It was probably around 2020, going into 2021. I rode Shib down all the way from the top. so it wasn't a good start, but it led me to other communities following that vision, of believing in something bigger than yourself. And I fell in love with a community, and it just led to creating an account on X. At the time it was Twitter. And I didn't really know anything about it. So I created a name. I saw people had different tags for themselves. So I went with Shilvester Stallone and
Nope.
figured, oh, well, I'm here on this platform just to raid and be a community member because it's the only thing I see of value that I can, put forth towards the community, towards the projects. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the character. I fell in love with crypto and community. And I also got wrecked. So, it led
Yeah.
me to seek out real builders. And I think that's where I ended up coming across you.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So what made you get into Shilling? What was like the first project you're like, fuck man, I gotta go out there on spaces, and you're a great speaker on spaces. Not a lot of people can pull it off, but you nailed that. That's why you're definitely a professional in this space. What project were you like, I gotta go out there and no one's working, I gotta put in that work and send this freaking token? Was there any particular token?
There's a couple. I mean, initially the Shilling started for a project called Okonami. It was about the Great Wave off Kanagawa, and it had a great community. The narrative, the vision was all about Ryoshi, and it was supposed to be the Ryoshi return and talks of connections with Ethereum's the Surge upgrade. And nothing came. So I just kept working and believing and being a part of that community. But then I got to a point where I started degenning on Solana, and that's where things kind of started to open up. And I think the first token that really got me into spaces was a token called Think About It, ticker Think. And that was that smart dude pointing at his head. And I started creating some content for that. And started hitting up spaces a lot more. And I rode that thing. I think I got in around like 300K early on, rode it down to like 30K, and just built a team of people, good people in the group. And we pushed like hell. I mean, I raided for at least 3-4 months until it actually caught some ground, and we were just hitting spaces and pushing it. And we sent that thing to, it maxed out around 8 mil.
Damn.
So that was a great project. It was a fun time, but as with anything, when you rise so fast, it just starts to fall and crumble. Community disappears, and people, run with their money, and you're left with a broken community of people who want to try to make it work.
Yeah, of course, man. It's crazy. I think that's the first time I met you, right? Was from that token
Yeah.
when you hit me up, man. Yeah, no, it's totally cool. I saw the way you moved, and I'm like, I gotta get this motherfucker on my team. Like, this dude is like a hard worker, and it's crazy. So, come full circle around now. You're on my team with ZFS Media and Nova and PulseSwitch. I mean, so happy to have you, man. Try to only surround myself with the best people in the space, and you're definitely one of them. That's why this is so epic, and it's great for everyone out there to get to know who Shilvester Stallone is. What are you most excited about moving in the future of crypto and what we're trying to build. Do you want to speak on any of that stuff?
I'm absolutely pumped on PulseSwitch. As far as everything goes in the space, I've spent years just searching for the right builders and the right team, and it's so overstated and so undervalued. Your network is your net worth, and I think that being a part of a community and having a leader like yourself, the developer of PulseSwitch and the developer of NovaChain, um, it gives me confidence to know that I'm building and working with someone who's dedicated to actually seeing things through. That's something that's rare in this space. And I know that, the memes are awesome and they have that great community atmosphere, but there's nothing like being a part of something early that's actually building and developing some real use tools for the world. Um, when I look at adoption, I think PulseSwitch is the tool that we need to be using. I mean, you can see the app right here, right now, and it's just absolutely phenomenally set up as far as having tickers streaming across the top at all times, just like your Dex tools and stuff like that. You have top profiles. It's giving absolute engagement for everybody that's active on the platform. You have top profiles that are just working their asses off on this platform and showing up every day. And it's great to see people using it. I think we need to take it to the world, though. I think we need to get everybody on board to really show the world what this is about. And we had a space last night on X. It was regarding, the visibility of crypto projects on X. And I asked Grok, I'm like, is there any limitations to crypto content on X right now? And it flat out answered yes, and gave results of different people who were losing 80% of their reactions and impressions from all their crypto content. And it's absolutely insane to me that at a time where the market is so volatile, we're seeing things just disappear. And that's why PulseSwitch is absolutely necessary for crypto. It's absolutely necessary for adoption and making sure that people hear what we're talking about. So check it out. I mean, get on to pulseswitch.io. It's absolutely free to use. It's a great place for us to network and grow. And you're going to see everybody's content. There's no algorithm stopping you from visibility, no shadow bans, nothing like that. So once you're created, you're there. You're never going to get kicked off. You're never going to get banned, blocked, muted, none of that. And I think that's important. Free speech is an absolute game changer. And you look at the censorship of different content, different influencers, and watching people lose accounts with, tens of thousands, sometimes up to hundreds of thousands of followers. That's hard to build. It takes time. It takes a lot of effort. And, it sucks to watch that happen to people in the space. It's not going to happen on PulseSwitch.
Dude, I
So
love it.
that's bullish, man. I mean, bullish. How else do you say it?
Dude, it's so freaking bullish. And it's like, we developed this too. I saw a need, right? And obviously, you're pretty much a co-founder with myself of, Nova and PulseSwitch. And I just see the need for this. I mean, the algorithm on X is totally manipulated. And I don't see any crypto stuff anymore. And this way, it's all engagement based, right? We can all grow collectively as projects, groups, and really, really just be the next platform, right? I would be the next Google. Why not of the crypto space? Like, and this is a great way of doing it. This is why I think it's great that you came on the podcast and, talking to someone like yourself, because we can build the best product, but you still need a shill guy. You still need that Shilvester Stallone to go out there and work it and get into different communities. That's why I think you're essential to this project and to PulseSwitch. Where do you see the future like going? In crypto and social media crypto. Do you think we're on the right track? That is the best question.
I think we're on the right track. Where do I see crypto going? I see it only going up. I'm perma bull all the time, but I'm not looking short term. I'm looking for the future. And it's quite apparent. You look at the banking systems, the ETF inflows, everything that's going on around the crypto scene with, Trump and what they're building with WLFI. Um, it's absolutely bullish. And to have any other opinion, in my opinion, is you're missing out on the grand scheme of things. Price will go down. I do see it going down lower, but I think it's only to create opportunities. And if you're smart, I think you're taking advantage of these opportunities. I think you're taking advantage of the swings. Nobody wanted to call that 126K Bitcoin the top. I think you were pretty
I
close,
did.
but I mean, it was the temporary top, and everything's temporary.
Right.
That's the way I see it. It's temporary top for now. What's going to happen in the next year or two? That's yet to be seen, but I'm bullish on it. I think it's going to continue to grow and expand.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. So what I got a question for you. What's a crypto truth that nobody wants to hear? Let's give them some exclusive stuff. All the influencers, this is going to this, but what is the ultimate truth in crypto that's never talked about? Like that you just want to, tell the community out there, like where they can't find it anywhere else than on Beyond the Blockchain.
When you hear somebody say, just hold by the dip, you're about to get wrecked. Don't care what any influencer says. I don't care what anybody's telling you. If they're yelling hold and buy the dip, you're screwed.
That's great. Now, how do you stay super sharp in this space ahead of everyone? What kind of tools do you use to, kind of put yourself, above basically and try to stay ahead of the game? Like, is there any um, kind of alpha you can drop to the listeners, like kind of secret stuff that you use as a tool to stay ahead of the curve?
So as far as tools go, I would say you have to find the most relative trends, the most relative news, and that's where you're going to find your tickers as far as meme coins go. You have to stay ahead of the news. And the biggest alpha I can give you is be an early riser and go to sleep late and sleep as little as possible because cryptosphere never ever sleeps. So it's kind of like the more you're present and seeing what's going on in the space, you can start to see the trends. You can start to see what tickers are going to pop up based on what's trending, what's hot, what's news wise, really big. Because people try to front run narratives. So if you can front run those narratives and find those people that are launching those projects, you can front run that narrative with them. And I think the days of like following wallets is over. People don't follow wallets anymore, looking at whale wallets and seeing what they're buying. I think that's a joke. The copy trading, yeah, there's money to be made, but essentially if you're following a whale and they
Yeah.
sell after you buy, guess what? You were their exit liquidity. So the harsh truth.
That is the harsh truth. And, everyone always says buy low, sell high. I kind of changed that narrative a little bit. It should be buy low, borrow high. So you're never really selling that asset. So on speaking of assets, like what's in your portfolio? What are you most excited about? RWAs, AI, meme coins, like what does Shilvester Stallone, if I came to your house and knocked on your door and tried to rob you for your wallet, what would be in there? What's the hottest ticket?
Absolutely nothing. I'm broke. No, I'm just kidding. Um, no, you're going to find, the main go-to tokens, your Bitcoin, your Ethereum. I'm a huge ETH maxi. I believe in what's being built there. I believe that Vitalik has great focus on the future with ETH and what he wants to build as a self-sustainable blockchain. Um, and everything that goes with ETH. So things like optimism, you got definitely your XRP, H bar, stellar lumens, just having some exposure to these types of projects. Chainlink, another one. I think Link is undervalued, and Cardano is another one. But as far as, undervalued gems, I think Nova is it, man. Nova to me is the most hidden gem out here in the space, just because I've watched you work for the last year now. And you're relentless. And I think that there is so much potential. It's just a matter of visibility, and that comes in time.
Nice. No, definitely. So if anyone's listening out there, I will put all the links and everything in the description of this video to find Nova, to find Shilvester, PulseSwitch. It's crazy, man. The market just changes so much. I personally think we hit the top of Bitcoin and we're retracing a little bit, but overall, I think it's going to be a short bear market, and we're going to lead back into the bull. So, over the history of crypto, like Bitcoin is such a great asset, and it's not at $1. That's what, 86K right now or something, 88. I haven't looked today, but that's still extremely bullish. Like, do you think anything will ever flip Bitcoin, or do you think will ever forever stay like the gold standard of digital assets?
It's hard to say. I mean, yes, it is the gold standard now. Um, but at the end of the day, all it takes is, Satoshi Nakamoto coming out and saying, "All right, thanks for playing," and see you drop
Right.
all of his
Plug it
Bitcoin,
in.
and now it's, tanked and starting over. So do I see something flipping it? If anything, I think it's going to be ETH. Just because of the essential use around the world as far as a global blockchain. I think there will be multiple blockchains that are used around the world, everyone having their own value in different ways. But I do see a potential that on a downtrend for Bitcoin, there is a possibility that ETH could come close and potentially flip eventually.
Right.
But that's a down the road thing, and a lot would have to happen for Bitcoin to drop and lose that gold standard in Bitcoin. Right now, I see Bitcoin as gold, ETH as silver.
Yeah, 100%. Now, speaking of that, because you got Michael Saylor and everything, who is the most overrated crypto figure? That's just like, I can't believe this person's even on that pedestal.
Ah, man,
Tough
that's
one,
a
right?
tough one.
It could be anybody. This is me. I don't care. You can say and names anything. Like, who's the most, overrated person in crypto?
I'm gonna dig deep on this one, Satoshi Kusama.
Yeah, I agree with that. Overrated.
I think that's just a shadow figure that people are tired of the shadow games, and they want transparency. And I think the days of having that anonymous dev and the anonymous person behind a project is over. People don't trust it anymore, and it's time to come out.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, it's so true. Like, I mean, he did put out some stuff, but it's like you can't. You got to be the face of your product. Like you have to in order for people to trust you and invest in you. You really got to put your name on something, right? Like, I waited for the Futures Conference in Miami to show my face. Basically, it's been years in the making. I did a lot of building, but it was time to come out, and like I see a lot of people doing that, and that brings just more security to the space. I think, putting a name on it, people can invest in a person like, like Amazon, Jeff Bezos, like his face, his name's on it, Elon Musk. Like at some point, in order to take the space seriously, someone has to be responsible for something, right? You can't just hide all the time, so it's crazy, man. But and on the flip side of that, where can people find you on social media? Where are you at all the time? I know we started Beyond the Blockchain. You want to speak about that? Like, that's such a great show. I think it's the greatest nighttime show on Friday nights. Beyond the Blockchain Radio. Myself and Shilvester, we host it together. and it just brings a lot of great people into the space, and we try to provide education and all kinds of stuff. We do showing macro stuff, all kinds of stuff. Are you enjoying Beyond the Blockchain? Is there anything I need to change? We need to change
Oh,
for
hell
this
no.
space.
Hell no. Definitely hands down the best spaces on X. And if you're not listening into it, you need to get into X. And Tuesday nights, I'm hosting with Crispy Chef. He's another one of our team members at Nova. Shout out to him. But Tuesday nights we host, and then Friday night you're hosting usually. So as far as those spaces go, it's stuff that nobody else is talking about, and that is where you're getting your alpha from. The things that nobody wants to talk about, everybody wants to talk about the trends and the hottest new news, whereas we're talking about the good, the bad, the ugly, the important facts, and also real life use cases for things. We got into structuring mortgages and stuff the other night, and talking about how you could leverage your Bitcoin and utilize it for things like that. And it's just so much in-depth knowledge packed into one space, and it's weekly, and we're consistent, we're always showing up. So I'm excited to see the growth of this platform and Beyond the Blockchain. And also these live streams that you're doing are amazing, because it brings that content creation factor, that real life person to the environment that we're working in. And I think it's going to change the game doing these podcasts.
I agree. And I think it nailed, like, one thing X nailed, even though it's goes in and out, fucking Elon can't fix it. But space is like, you still need that human interaction. After watching what AI is doing and changing the algorithm, it's kind of like it's limiting people's intimate like communication. You know what I mean? So we always want to bring that back. That's why I'm, working on the live for PulseSwitch.io. If you haven't signed up, go fucking sign up right now. There's no excuses. Shilvester's on there. Go follow Shilvester Stallone. Check him out. Definitely. And this has been such a great interview, and I like these kind of 101. It's very mellow, and it's true, right? This isn't the price prediction hype. XRP is going to $100 million. You're not going to hear that from us. You're only going to hear the real alpha. And this is true. If you're new into the space and you're coming in here, definitely take some advice from Shilvester. He's been here for a few years. He understands the market, how it moves, how people move in the space. Like, definitely write down some notes and put down in the comment section, what else you want to hear from these podcasts, what kind of topics you want, if we miss something, and let us know. And if you follow him, we'll do something special for you. So definitely join PulseSwitch.io, and we will wrap this up, and we'll catch you on another Beyond the Blockchain radio episode. This is the first one ever. Want to give it to Shilvester Stallone. Thank you for coming on, and I hope you have a great day, and definitely push as hard as you can. And if you're out there listening, join, follow us, come to the spaces, join PulseSwitch. It's only going to make your future in crypto better. So we'll catch you on the next episode, and have a great day.
Let's go. Thanks for having me.
Love it, man.